Sup internet people, and welcome to the show, where I show you things that happened around Ireland, the world and online in the past week. Remember, should you not like what I'm talking about, there'll be an option right there in the top right hand corner of the screen to take you on a video TARDIS just a few seconds or minutes into the future so you can view the next story. Or if you're on a mobile, links as well as sources to all the stories I talk about today can, as always, be found in the faux bar. To kick things off this week, we're going to go straight to movie news. This week saw the release of a new trailer for Prometheus, which features none other than Michael Fassbender as an android. Take a look.
Kill everything. Do you copy me?
If you don't stop it, there won't be any home to go back to.
I'm going to be totally honest here. I wasn't too bothered about seeing Prometheus, but after seeing that, well, we'll see. Staying with movie news, and this past Friday the eagerly awaited movie The Hunger Games was released. And as someone who hasn't read the books, I can honestly say I loved it. I mean, there was that one bit when the movie went all split screen and then the projector died for half an hour. And then that other bit where the stupid little girls in front of me decided to ask their friends who died in the end. To which I was like, no! Seriously, the movie went all split screen at the bottom of the movie at the top and vice versa. And I was like, hey, they're using this effect, it's really cool, it makes it dramatic. And then fast forward about 5 scenes and they're still doing it. Hey, I don't think this is an effect after all. Boom! But on a more serious note, this is a very, very good movie. And as I've said before, this is the right time to be releasing this series as movies. If you have read the books and don't want to be disappointed, just take this advice. Walk into the theatre with this one thing in your head. The book you love and the movie you're about to watch are two totally different mediums to tell the story, and they shouldn't be compared. The book is roughly 370 pages to spend as long as you need to take in every single detail over and over again. The movie has just under 2.5 hours to tell the entire story. So yeah, some character development is going to be lost. But that shouldn't really take away from the story that's told by the movie. On to gaming news, and if you haven't played Mass Effect 3 yet, or you have and you're not quite finished and you want to avoid ending spoilers, I would suggest you click the video TARDIS and go to the next story. Because there's some spoilers about to come your way. It's okay, I'll wait. So earlier this month, BioWare released what was intended to be the last game in the Mass Effect series, Mass Effect 3. But as players reached the end of the game, they discovered that the decisions they made throughout the series didn't really affect the ending. So as you can expect, these hardcore gamers were a little bit pissed off, and as can be expected, they took to the internet to bitch and moan. With one fan going so far as to report EA, the game's publisher, to the US Federal Trade Commission. Well, as it turns out, taking things too far and complaining actually gets you somewhere. Because just the other day, the co-founder of BioWare, Dr. Ray Muzica, released a blog post responding to the matter. In it, he talks about how proud he is of ME3, how hard it was for them to predict how people would react to the game, and how much they care about fan feedback. But here's the important part. Building on the research, executive producer Casey Hudson and the team are hard at work on a number of game content initiatives that'll help answer the questions, providing more clarity for those seeking further closure to their journey. You'll hear more about this in April. So yeah, BioWare caved, and it appears they're going to release some downloadable content. And while it's a good thing they're going to fix this, to be completely honest, I'm not happy about it. BioWare isn't caving to the people who bought Mass Effect 3, they're caving to the almighty dollar. And what's worse is in doing so, they're rewarding people for bitching and moaning. Long story short, dickheads stop being dickheads. Yours sincerely, me. Next up, we go to a story that makes me ultra special happy to report, because it's Doctor Who news. Earlier this week, the BBC held a press conference in which they released some of their plans for Series 7 of Who, where the series will be split when Amy and Rory are officially leaving the TARDIS, and most importantly, the new companion. The Doctor's new companion will be played by 25-year-old Jenna-Louise Coleman. That's a bit of a mouthful. And will debut in this year's Christmas special, which is episode 6 of Series 7. Lead writer and executive producer Stephen Moffat had this to say of her. It always seems impossible when you start casting these parts, but when we saw Matt and Jenna together, we knew we had our girl. She's funny and clever and exactly mad enough to step on board the TARDIS. An interview with Jenna-Louise can, as always, be found in the faux bar. Of the other Who-related stuff I mentioned, it was revealed that Series 7 will be split over 2 years, with the first 6 episodes airing the end of 2012 and the remaining 8, as well as anything they have planned for the 50th anniversary, airing sometime in 2013. On Amy and Rory's full-time departure from the TARDIS, Moffat had this to say. Amy and Rory will leave in the 5th episode that goes out, and it will be a final encounter with the Weeping Angels. Not everyone gets out alive, and I mean it this time. What this means for Amy and Rory? Well, who knows? It's more than likely not going to be as obvious as one of them or even the Doctor dying. Stephen Moffat is, by his own admission, terrible at killing people. And well, the phrase "Moffucked" exists for a reason. So just to be clear, Series 7, Daleks, Amy and Rory gone in episode 5, Christmas special, Jenna-Louise Coleman, wow chicka wow wow, rest of season 7, 50th anniversary. I am pumped. And so we come to our final story of the week. Many of you have undoubtedly heard about the atrocious shootings in France earlier this week, in which 7 people including 3 children were shot by a lone gunman. Almost as soon as the news broke, a manhunt was declared, and almost 24 hours later, police had surrounded the apartment of 23-year-old Mohammed Mera. The standoff lasted almost 32 hours, with reports coming out that Mera wanted to surrender under cover of darkness after 18 hours. But ultimately, it's being reported that as police attempted to storm his apartment, he came out at the bathroom shooting wildly, and police were forced to shoot him. Another story coming out of this is that of the pregnant girlfriend of one of the soldiers killed by Mera has successfully applied to marry her partner posthumously. Under French law, in extreme cases, the living partner can ask the French president for permission to marry, in cases where a fiancé dies before the wedding. And ultimately, this story is just so sad and screwed up, and I just hope no one decides to make a martyr out of this guy. But guys, that's all I have to say for now. Remember that these are just my opinions, and to leave your opinions on this or any other story in comments below. In the faux bar, you'll find some videos that I really liked and or they made me lol. For more of my random thoughts and things from day to day, you can always follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/ConOrCon. Don't forget to click the like button, share this video with your friends on Facebook and Twitter, and by all means, subscribe if you haven't already. But for now, my name is Conor Broderick, and that's what I thought you'd like to know.
Nandoandgabe.